I think the first one to attend the room, right? We have Bao Chao, right? Bao Chao. Is it correct? Hi. Hi. I can't hear you. Okay. I can't hear you. So maybe, let me see. Did you send me a message? Mm. Oh, okay. But I can't hear you. I'm sorry. Maybe I will try to ask another one for a while, okay? Let's have Tweet Tweet Jung. Tweet
Okay,
Jung.
hello. Hi.
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 Hi. All
Yes,
right.
nice to meet you. Yeah.
Yes, nice to meet you too. Good evening. All
Yes.
right. I just want to, I know that you know already how important consistency is. So I want to ask you, why do you think that connecting ideas in a debate can save your time?
I I think it can save our time because we when you connect your ideas, that means that your arguments is following a it's like a core ideas, so you cannot like get out the track or off the topic, so that can
Mhm.
save your times and you will not say something like irrelevant to the topic, I guess.
That's right. Something irrelevant that will actually just waste and consume your time, right?
Yes.
Okay, so thank you so much for that. And
Yeah.
thank you for sharing. Tweet Jung, right?
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you very much. And that's actually right. So when we say saving time, how can connecting ideas actually save your time? It's very easy, just like what she said. When you connect ideas, you will be on the line, you know what your goal is, and then you will only be saying relevant ideas. And of course, the will only give you points for giving relevant ideas and will actually somehow deduct your points if you give irrelevant ideas. Okay, so let me share to you an example. I actually wrote it here. Last Saturday, I think Saturday, that was Saturday or Sunday. I was hosting the debate and I noticed that Miss Farah, so that was Saturday. Yeah, Miss Farah actually pointed out one irrelevant idea there. And I forgot who the debater was, but that person said, the topic was about Gen Z, but that person actually mentioned about pollution. And Miss Farah pointed out that it's very irrelevant and it's just a waste of time. Yeah, because for the first and second round, you only have 5 minutes, 5 minutes only. And if you're trying to, add more and more and more new arguments, you will have no time to support and to give reasons to provide your evidence for your main arguments. So I think it's not good. It's not good to waste your time for nothing, to waste your time for something that is actually not important. So that's why connecting ideas in a debate is really important. And I hope that you will try to remember that. If it's not part of your topic, if it's not part of the motion, then disregard it. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your effort. Okay? Don't waste your effort on that thing that is actually pointless. Okay, now let's have keeping you on track. I will just continue, I suppose. So when we say keep you on track, it's just like to lead you the way, to lead you the way. I'm sorry. So that is just to lead you the way. You will know your main point, your goal, your target. Remember, in debate, goal or target is important so you won't be led astray. For example, what's your goal? Why are you in the proposition team? Why are you in the opposition team? If you don't know your goal, then how will you be able to go through the debate? What will keep you on track? Of course, it's your goal. And how can you reach your goal? By connecting from the first point until the last point. Because if you go, zigzag, that will be a waste of time. Again, it's a waste of time, and you will be led astray. When we say astray, you will not be in your way going to your goal anymore. Okay? You'll be able to, continue to work or make progress as planned, expected, or desired if you actually keep on track, or if connecting ideas can actually keep you on track. Okay. So, for example, let's say that the motion is homework should be banned. So, as a proposition, or I mean, if you're in a proposition team, your goal is to persuade the judges that homework should really be banned. And then, of course, it's good that you give your ideas, your points, your arguments, counter arguments, reasons, and evidence. Of course, that is very important. But in a way, you need to connect all of them. And let's say, for example, your goal is in the south, you're in the north. This is your starting point. You can just go directly to the south, but instead, you decide to, like, let's say you go to northwest, northeast, and then middle, and then west, east, southwest, southeast, and then you go to the south. Okay, let's say you will be able to go to the south, but you're already out of time. Remember, in debate, there's time. Everything is timed. So you need to race against time. And that's why you need to just connect your ideas. And what you're trying to connect are those relevant ideas. Okay? So if not, then you will, you will be led astray. So I hope that you will remember that as well. And of course, we have helps avoid obscurity. So when we say obscurity, that just means unclear, ambiguous, and not easy to understand. So obscurity can actually affect both you as the speaker and your team. Remember, in a debate, you are not judged individually, but by team. So, for example, like, how can it affect you as a speaker? Of course, if your arguments are actually obscure, you will be out of focus. You have your arguments, reasons, and evidence. Okay, you gave your reasons, you gave your arguments, and also your evidence why homework should actually be banned. But later on, let's say you said most parents are the ones doing their children's homework. So what? I mean, is that idea connected to the main point? Is that idea connected to your goal that the parents are actually doing their children's homework? And you need to think of a factual reason why this debate is actually present nowadays. The Department of Education in different parts of the world are debating to whether continue giving homework or to ban giving homework. But it's not because of the parents. It's because of the students, because of the children, not because of the parents. And actually, judges might think that not all parents are the same. Given the fact that they have power, authority, and command over their children, for sure, in one way or another, they will be able to control their children and let them do their homework. And so, if you do that, your opponents will actually be able to find a hole in your argument and will be able to attack you with counter arguments that you might not probably answer. And so how will you deal with that? How will you be able to handle that, right? So remember, especially when you are the first speaker, you give the argument. You need to set your ground. You need to be vivid. You need to be clear on what you are trying to say. Because if you will like do it in an obscure way, it will be hard for the second speaker, third speaker to connect to your argument. So that's why it's important to be working as a team, not individual. And when we say connecting or consistency, it's not just about your ideas. It's also about you as speakers in a debate. You need to be connected. If you are not connected, then why are you in one team? Right? It's very important. I think it's very important to be connected in a way or another. Okay, and of course we have the fourth main reason why connecting idea is very important, and that is to serve a solid way to prove an argument. So as what I've said, you need to be a team. You can't just give arguments without connecting them to the arguments of the previous speaker. And even you can't give counter arguments that are actually not connected to the arguments of your opponent or of the opposing speaker. Because if you do that, then where is the consistency? Where is the coherence, which is 40% again in the criteria of judging. So you always really need to remember to be consistent. Okay. So far, do you have any question? Don't be shy. Okay. So if you don't have any question, then I think I will ask someone. Okay, we have here Bùi Đăng Hoàng.
Okay, hello. Can you hear
Hi.
me?
Yes, I
Hi.
can. All right, good evening.
Good evening.
Okay. Now, like maybe let's say, aside from those that I gave, what do you think is another importance of connecting ideas in a debate?
I think that we should have a clear argumentation.
Okay. And when you say a clear argumentation, what does that mean? How is connecting ideas related to that?
So when you have a clear argumentation, it includes the mechanism to explain the whole your idea, so the judge could understand your argument more clearly.
Okay, that's right. So that's why connecting idea is really important for you to be able to make arguments, right? Right,
Yes.
Juan? Okay,
Yes.
so thank you. Thank you so much. I turned off my microphone. Okay, so yeah, those are the four, or maybe let me say the main importance of connecting ideas. All right, so we're done. And if you have a question, you can ask me now or you can ask me later. That's fine. Okay, now here are some maybe the easiest way to connect ideas. All right, let's have the first one. As you can see, we have understand the motion. I think this is very common. And I remember that Miss Farah also mentioned during her meeting before that in order for you to be able to understand the motion well, you need to try to understand the words in the given motion. Okay. Just like what she mentioned, like for example, homework should be banned. At that time, it was abortion, right? That let's say homework should be banned. So what is homework? Who are doing their homework, right? And then should. You need to understand that should is a must, you know? Should is a must. It's not just you can or you can't, but it's a must. You need to understand the importance of the word. And homework should be banned. And what's banned? What does it mean to be banned? To be banned. What does it mean to be banned by doing something? So you need to understand that. And of course, understanding the motion is just as simple as trying to get the gist of the whole debate, right? Because at the end of the debate, what you're trying to fight is your arguments to either oppose or agree to the motion. Okay. And also we have the use of proper linking words. So since this is connecting ideas, it's very important to link ideas, link sentences, link arguments, and of course, proper linking words. Use of proper linking words is a must. So actually, there are different linking words, but not all are interchangeable. So some words are actually just used specifically according to their purpose. So for example, there are linking words for addition when you want to add something, condition when you want to give condition, comparison, contrast, emphasis, and a lot more, etc. Okay, So that's why linking word is, I mean, use of proper linking words are actually very, or it's actually very important. Okay. And the next one, included here to build an argument and counter argument. And that includes the 7 C's and flowing. Okay, so flowing will be in here because you can't flow when the debate did not start yet or hasn't started yet, right? You can only start flowing when you first hear the argument of the first speaker. Okay, so we have here 7 C's, and I actually got this from the Cambridge Union. Yeah, I got this idea from the Cambridge Union, and I just want to share it to you guys. Okay, so there are 7 C's in order for you to be able to make a good argument. So first, you need to consider the situation. And what do we mean when we say consider the situation? So you need to think of all aspects of the communication situation. Like, what are the subject and purpose of your message? What medium will you use? Like, what are you going to use? What are the ways that you are going to follow, that you are going to use in order for you to give your argument? Who will be your receiver? And what is the context? What is it about? So that is how you consider the situation. And second one, we have clarifier thinking. So when we say clarifier thinking, you just have to think about the pros and the cons of each side of the issue. And also, you need to do some preliminary research so that you understand the subject well, especially that the motion is actually given beforehand. So you actually have your time to clarify your thinking before making your arguments. And you can do the flowing to be able to make counter arguments, but still remember to connect your ideas. Let's say, for example, the second speaker of the first speaker of the opposition team said that homework shouldn't be banned because even people before have actually done their homework. They did their homework and nothing happened. Nothing's wrong. Even at that time, there was no internet. Everything was difficult, but nothing happened. Nothing wrong happened. And so you need to listen. You need to clarify your thinking. You need to do the flowing, take down of the opponent's main points. What are you going to present as your counter argument? And it should be connected. You can't say that, okay, I heard that you said that people in the past did not have problems encountering or doing a lot of homeworks, but it's okay because now there's let's say there are parents trying to help them, like that. And so what? Did the people before not have parents? Of course, they had their parents as well, right? So you try to connect and again, be consistent. Stay on topic. Don't go out of your track or else you will be lost. Okay. And we have number 3, the third C, we have construct a claim. Okay, so when we say construct a claim, that is to write a single statement that gives your position and the main reason that you hold that position. So claim it. Like, okay, I stand this ground. This is my stand. This is my take. This is what I want to say. And you need to be clear about it. Okay, you need to be clear about your claim, about your purpose, right? About your goal, about your target. You need to be clear. Okay. And of course, we have collect evidence. This is very important. During the debate last time, I also noticed for both nights, Saturday and Sunday, I noticed that the judges actually mentioned that the debaters are trying to add new arguments, but they failed to defend it. They failed to support it. They failed to give evidence as to why the judge or the people that are listening should believe them. So I think that is also very important. Collecting evidence. Again, we are living in a world that only evidence and proofs matter. So no matter how good you are in speaking, if you don't provide enough evidence, then that will be pointless. Okay, so research the issue in depth using primary, secondary, and tertiary sources. Don't just limit yourselves in one source, because there are actually different sources, various of sources, and sometimes they are actually contradicting to each other. So you need to be careful and you need to make sure that it's consistent. Again, it is consistent. What is written in this article should be the same to what is written in the second and the third and the fourth, so on. So again, you should be consistent even with your evidence. Okay, investigate to make sure your claim holds up and change it if it doesn't. So before you make your argument, right? So when we say argument, again, it is like the first part of the debate. We have the first speaker, the second speaker, who will provide their arguments, agreeing or opposing to the motion. So gather a variety of key evidence to support your claim. Again, do not just focus on one. This is while you are making your argument, okay? Try to get as more ideas as you can, but try to make sure that they are relevant and they are actually connected to each other. Okay, and we have number 4, consider key objections. I think this is very important when you are trying to build your argument. Because, like, for example, when you are considering key objections, you think about other viewpoints related to the argument. Let's say you are in the opposition team. Let's say proposition team. Of course, you will try to write everything that will support your claim, that will support your stand, but you also need to think of it. You also need to consider key objections that, oh, but if I say this, maybe the opposition will say this. So if the opposition team will say this, I need to prepare how to answer and what to answer, right? You can't come and you can't join in a debate unprepared. So that's why considering key objection is very important. Like, what reasons could people cite to support opposing positions? What major problems could they see with your argument, right? And you need to also decide how you will answer the objections. There are 2 ways, right? There are 2 ways in order for you to answer their objections: by countering them, saying why they are unimportant, or by conceding them. It depends on in what team you are, or by conceding them, saying that they are important, but they can be overcome. Okay, so that is something that you also need to remember. Consider key objections, because debate is full of objections, especially from your opposing teams. Okay, and we have the 6th one. Of course, we have craft your argument. Now, if you already did everything, that is now your time to craft your argument. So use your claim statement and the evidence you have gathered to argue persuasively for your position. Appeal to the needs of your listener, to the judges, and answer any key objections. As I've said, there are 2 ways. It depends on your position or on your team. Okay, so craft your argument. Make use of everything that you've actually done, and try to put it in a way that you will be able to craft your argument, let's say, without a hole, without a hole. So they will be able to, or let's say, even if they will be able to find a hole, at least you know how to answer. At least you know how to answer their objections, or how to attack them back by giving statements that are actually based on your research, that are factual. But as what Miss Farah said, not everything should be factual. Okay. All right. And then the last part, of course, you need to confirm your main point. Confirm it. Wrap it up. Wrap up your argument by stating your claim in a way, connecting it to real life and to the future. Well, actually, this is not really maybe that important, but if the debate topic is like helpful, or just like, for example, homework should be banned. This is actually a real motion for a debate in the world right now. I'm not sure if in Vietnam it's actually happening, but in our country it is. like a lot of students don't want to have homework. So this is actually something that the Department of Education is trying to deal with. If like they're going to ban, or they will still continue giving homework to the students. So like if you can relate it to real life, it will be better because you have your solid, let's say solid evidence, like solid proof. Okay. And yeah, you just have to confirm your main point. And again, remember, in a debate, one more time, I'm going to say it one more time. In a debate, you are not judged individually. So don't act like, okay, I'm going to give this argument. I don't care what you'll say there. You need to help. You need to help. You need to make it clear. So the second speaker, the third speaker, or the following speaker will be able to actually understand what you're trying to say. If you say that, if you say something clear in the beginning, if you make it steady, if you make it sturdy, that is very good. Because no matter how the opposing team ask you, then you will be able to answer them by counter arguments. You'll be able to answer them with what you really want to say and what you really think is right and what you really think will lead you to victory. Okay, so this is very important. And connecting here, the one that I want to emphasize as well, consistency here, or connecting ideas here. It's not just about the words that you are trying to connect, but the ideas that you as speakers could connect as well. Okay, so I hope that you will be able to understand what I mean. Okay, so I'm actually done with my first main point for tonight. Do you have any question? Hi, everyone. No questions so far? Okay, so if you have no questions so far, I hope that you will be able to, remember this. And again, coherence is 40%. So it's really important to connect ideas or connect your arguments. Okay. And so if no more question in this part, let us go to my second point. This is actually just a sub point on how to, this is actually just extra, extra. So improving your linguistics or speaking skills. So I think you know what this means, but let me try to how can I say this, like remind you again by showing this slide to you. So first we have eliminate filler words like um first reason, it's a waste of time because you say that's already 1 or 2 seconds deducted from your time. And remember, again, you are racing against time, so you can't just say if you say that, let's say within 5 minutes you say that 15 times, that's already 15 or 30 seconds deducted from your time. So I think that's a very big waste of time. And another thing, if you say these filler words, you will sound and look unsure. Like the judges would think, so this person is actually not sure of what he or she's saying. Like, and I think it's not really appealing to the judges if you keep on saying, okay. Maybe not reading a copy or not reading what you already wrote when you are trying to say fresh ideas, fresh from your mind, impromptu, as they say. I think it's better if you say like, so if you want to continue, for example, if you want to continue your sentence, you can say so or and or like that. But you don't say you sound like an insect if like that. And I think that is not good as well. So again, it will waste your time, and actually it will like appeal to the judges that you are actually unsure, you're not sure. Okay, and so please bear with me if I'm saying again, I'm not in a debate right now. But in a debate, as I think as much as possible, try to not to use these words. Okay, and we have find synonyms for overused language. It's good to use highfalutin words that will appeal to the judges that you're actually smart. You have a wide range of vocabulary, but remember, we are in a debate, and not we are not taking IELTS test. I know that in IELTS test, highfalutin words are actually encouraged to be used, but we are in a debate, and you have listeners that are listening. So I think it's better if you use just the synonyms of the overused language. Okay, let's say, for example, if you want to say that it's actually not easy to carry something, you can just say it's hard, it's difficult. No need to say or use the word cumbersome, because there are people who don't actually understand what that means. So I think it's really good for you to find synonyms of overused language or for overused language. So it's just like that. It's good. There's advantage, but there's also disadvantage. But I think this is not really required in a debate, you know? Because sometimes, for example, if you just use that language or if you just use that word, let's say, but you don't actually know what that means, your opponent may ask you, especially during the second round where you can raise POI and say, I'm sorry, I don't understand what that means. And then you'll be like, okay, uh, again. And then you don't know how to explain. So I think that will be difficult. That will be a big no. Okay, and we have the third one. In order for you to improve your linguistics or speaking skills during a debate, you need to speak slowly and enunciate. Okay, so this is a funny thing that I've noticed while I was hosting. I was just listening to you guys. Maybe not all of you here, but some, you know, especially those that are actually just reading. I noticed some of you who actually just tried to read something, and some actually did not read, but they were speaking so fast. Okay, I get the point. I understand that there's a time that you need to fit everything in within 5 minutes. But if you do that, sometimes you tend to be you tend to be incomprehensible. It's not easy to understand. So it's just like, what? Wait. There's no rewind button. So we can't, or the judges cannot, like, okay, wait, let me go back 5 seconds. What did he say? What did she say? So try to speak slowly, but not so slow like you say, speak slowly. No, it's not like that, but it's the proper phasing, phasing, phasing of words, and enunciate. Do not just pronounce the words, but actually announce it, announce them. Try to enunciate the words. Okay. And again, it's I think it's better if you actually read in a reading pace, and pace and face, pacing, facing. So it is very important. Okay, and we have invent your rebuttals calmly. Okay, so this is actually, I think we can say, a matter of attitude or your character. As a host last time, I also noticed that some of you were so intense, which I actually understand because you are in a debate. But as much as possible, try to rebut calmly. You can just give your counter arguments without trying to start a fight. And I think it is very weird and it is very strange. And I can say improper or impolite to actually, act as if you're trying to start a fight just by giving your rebuttals. So I hope that, you will try to follow four of my points here, or four advice that I've given you here for tonight, in order for you to improve your linguistics and speaking skills. And in a way, this will not just help you like present your arguments clearly or well, be in a debate clearly, but this will actually appeal to the judges that you are, let's say, a very moderate person. You're not above, you're not below, you're in the average level. You try to know, I mean, you know how to moderate things. You do everything in moderation, and I think that is very important. So I know that in a debate, we can't avoid that we will feel the urge of fighting. Like, no, I need to stand, you need to believe me. No, that's not right. But remember, Miss Farrow mentioned once, but I think it was in a different debate, not last Saturday and Sunday. She said manner versus matter, or matter versus manner. I actually forgot, but it's just either way. So it's good. It's good that you are good and you know what you're doing, but manner is still important. And sometimes there are actually judges that are particular with your manner during a debate, no matter how good you are. Although it's not included in the criteria, but overall, you need to be a total package when you are a debater. You don't just need to have your mind and your brain. You need to have your manner and character with you. Okay? So I hope that you will also remember that. And that is also a way, a way in order for you not to start a fight. Let's make it peaceful, a peaceful debate. Okay? And of course, it's not just about how you speak, but it's also about enhancing the drama or the mood. The drama, the mood. It's not that you will, perform there like an actress or an actor. Oh, like you don't do that. You don't do that in a debate, of course. So first, you just have to consolidate your movement. I know that right now we are having debates online due to the pandemic, and this is B2. So of course, we are doing everything online. And I understand that maybe you feel at home because you are really just in your houses, like at home, but try to sit properly. Don't do like, okay, and read on your screen, read on your paper. I think it's really not that good as well. You need to consolidate your movement. Try to sit properly. Try to, be formal, even just for that time that you're speaking. Okay, especially when your camera is open. If not, then I don't know what you're doing at the back of the camera, behind the camera, so that's fine. Okay, and we have established eye contact. So this is also important, especially in an actual debate, like where you meet each other face to face. But now, again, we are doing it online. So the easiest way for you to establish eye contact is to looking straight to your cameras at home, just like what I'm doing right now. In a way, like the judges, the listeners will feel like, oh, they're really talking to me. Oh, this debater is really talking to me. So I think it's really important to establish eye contact, because that will set the mood, that will set the mood that you are actually trying to focus. Don't do like that, or look around when you're debating. Try to focus and stay still. Okay, just hold on. You're trying to get to your point by being actually proper. So that is also important. And another thing that you can remember, that you need to remember. Okay, and we have number 3. We have diversify your tone. What do we mean when we say diversify your tone? So this is actually a reminder, because some actually sound monotonous. For example, let's say I will be reading here some the words. Maybe I would say consolidate your movement, establish eye contact, diversify your tone, master the dramatic pause. If you do that, you sound like a robot. Not just a robot, but you sound monotonous, like no life at all, lifeless, as they say. So try to diversify your tone. How can I say this? Like wave or balance your adjust your intonation. In that way, you will sound sure, and it's very pleasing. It's very pleasing to the ears of the listeners and the judges, and that will catch more attention. You don't just read, consolidate your movement, establish eye contact. If you do that, so what? It's just like you're reading, you're reading something, and it's very obvious that you're just reading a copy, or you're actually just reading something. It's not from your mind. It's not fresh from your mind. It's not fresh ideas. You're just reading. You have a copy there, and you're just reading. So try to diversify your tone. It will make the atmosphere very lively, and you will have an amiable impact to the listeners and the judges especially. So try to diversify your tone. I know that these are not very important. Master the dramatic pause. So what does that mean? It's not that you will do this. You don't do that. Okay. You don't do that. That is very weird. You're just trying to like be an actor or an actress if you do that. So what you can do is try to pause. Try to breathe. Okay. I noticed that some of you, again, I understand because there's time. The time is running. So you are trying to fit everything in, fit what you wrote, what you prepared, in 5 minutes, in 3 minutes. So that's why, for example, let me read something here. Present trouble fears of talent very popular. You do like that. And I think it's very crazy. I mean, it's not good. It's really not good to listen to a debater who speaks like that. It's not that you are just reading, you are debating. So try to emphasize words, try to have a pause. In that way, you will be able to think what you want to say next. If you just there's a chance, there's a chance that you may forget what you have to say next. So I think it is really, again, I will not say really, I'm sorry. It is important, but not really important in a debate, but this will help. So I hope that you take this into consideration. And of course, we have close your debate with passion. So it doesn't mean that you need to read your closing statement that I believe that we are to show that you're very passionate about your closing statement. It's not that you need to do that. You just have to be firm of what you believe, to let the judge, especially the judge in the closing part, you need to let the judge understand what your stand is. You need to let the judge understand your points, understand your team's points and arguments. So I think it's just as easy as that. You don't need to be over dramatic, or it's either you don't need to be over dramatic or you don't need to be lifeless. You should not be lifeless, actually. You need to be in the middle. You need to be in the average level. You need to moderate everything, do everything in moderation. And again, these are not very important, but I believe that these will help, because as I've noticed during your debate last time, I was just hosting, but I was like, oh, like that. Oh, they're reading so fast. I don't understand. Like that. But again, our judges are, like last time, Miss Farah and Mr. Christian, they were really keen on listening to your arguments and counter arguments, to your points. So that's why they were able to find lapses, So I hope that this will help. I mean, these things that I've actually shared to you tonight will help for you to be better and to improve on the second round of the Bitu's debate. So I think that's it. Oh, before we end, I think I just want to. Where is it? Okay, here. So let's go back to being consistent. I'm sorry, I think I forgot this point. Let's go back to being consistent, okay? Here we have connecting ideas, flowing, and consistency. So during the debate last time, I also noticed that one opposition speaker, I won't give names, okay? I won't drop names, but I noticed and I wrote down that one opposition speaker actually agreed to the proposition speaker, which is a big no. It's really a big no in a debate. I remember Miss Farah already reminded you that you need, whatever happens, even though you're already in the point of your life during the debate, oh, she's really right, he's really right, you still have to stand your ground. Remember, you are in the opposition team. You should not agree with the proposition team, or Either way, if you are in the proposition team, do not agree in the opposition team. So this is another form of being inconsistent. Being inconsistent in a way that you need to be consistent on your ground. You need to be consistent on your side. You need to be consistent and loyal on your team. Do not let them down by agreeing to your opponent. Okay, so this is just another way of being inconsistent, or another way of inconsistency in a debate. So again, you need to clear your mind, clear your minds, guys, before you join a debate. That if you are in a proposition, you are in a proposition. If you are in the opposition, you are in the opposition. And I also noticed last time that there was a speaker in the second round that actually did not accept POI. So again, rules must be applied, because I was the host, so I know, and I was also listening. So I hope that you will try to accept at least one POI. I actually talked to Miss Farah about it, because she's like the expert in debate. So I asked for her opinion and for her suggestion, like if she can teach me something about it. And she mentioned that if, for example, let's just pretend, okay, proposition and opposition. In the proposition team, if someone did not accept POI and the time is over, but in the opposition team, someone accepted POI and it was well. So that's actually a minus point in the total. And Ms. Farah said it will still depend on your argument, but it will still affect your points. So I hope that you will try to follow the rules in order for you to avoid minus points, deductions. And again, it's just very important to make your argument solid, counter argument solid, and your closing statement solid. Okay? So I think that's it for tonight. And I really want to ask you guys if you have any question, and I would appreciate if you have. So any questions, clarifications, maybe, how can I say this? Suggestions, if you have.
Hi.
Okay. Hi, Wen. Hi.
Can I have a question about what in the round 3, what the speaker one of a team must say?
I'm so sorry, I did not get your question. Can you say it again?
In round 3,
Okay.
so what the speaker of each team will say.
Okay. So in the round 3, that is the closing, right? Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Win, for that question. So as you know, in the round 3, that is what we call reply. So in that part, you just have to summarize, conclude all your team's points. That's why it's important to connect your ideas to each other, to each other's ideas in your team. So in the end, the leader or the first speaker will have everything settled. We'll have everything in a box, and we'll just present it to the judge or to the judges. Okay, so when it's just that you are just going to summarize and conclude your points and confirm your points, and just say that you strongly believe that you either agree or disagree to the motion. Okay, Win, do you understand?
I also have
Yes.
I think that when at round 1 we already say about we already list all the arguments that we will have. So in round 3 it will be more in detail, or
Okay. So actually, for the first round, it was only the argument of the first speaker, correct? And for the second round, the second speaker and the third speaker will actually present their counter arguments and arguments. And as the debate goes, and when the debate starts, ideas will just be adding. So you can't just depend on what you actually said in the first round. That's why there's flowing, pen, pencil, and paper, in order for you to list down the ideas of your teams, and also the things that you need to have to make counter arguments with for the opposing team. So you just have to list down everything list down the main points of your team, what your team strongly agrees to. So after that, you will be able to conclude. That means that will be your summary, that will be your conclusion. Do you understand? Did I answer your question?
So that as a speaker one in round one, I don't have to list the arguments of my teammates, right?
Oh, yeah, of course. It's just like this. For you as a speaker, as a leader in team one, of course you can write the arguments of your teammates. That's fine. But as I've said, during the debate, you don't just stick to what you actually planned. Okay, you don't just stick to it. You need to add more. Because, for example, you stick to it, and then the opponent said something like a counter argument, gave a counter argument to what you said. And then, of course, the second speaker of your team needs to defend your team, needs to defend your argument. So they will add something to counter argument the idea of the other team or of the opposing speaker. So in that way, you as a leader, you can try to add ideas to what you've already written before the debate begins. Okay?
Yes, I understand. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. Okay. So I saw Bảo Châu. Oh, it's Jung.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so here I have another question, like whether I misunderstood Judge Christian last time or not. But for the roles of the speaker three, he told that like the main responsibilities or speaker three is, like fill in the gap of previous two speakers, or I think like the speaker three still need to bring another argument, or just
No.
like fill in the gaps of previous two speakers.
Okay, so thank you for that question. I actually heard the judges commented about this, that the third speakers tend to add new arguments. So actually on the third round, you don't need to add new argument. What you have to do, the third round, that is the closing, the conclusion, okay?
Sorry, but it's in the second round and it's for speaker three.
Okay.
Yes.
For the speaker three, of course, for the speaker three, you can still give your counter argument to the second speaker of your opposing team. You can still add a counter argument. And of course, I know that you also prepared your counter arguments ahead of time, but you can add. You can add.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
It's okay. So you can add counter arguments to what you hear during the debate. Because, of course, you don't know what they're going to say. I'm not sure if you already know, but I suppose you don't know what the other speakers, especially your opponents, are going to say, right? So you just have to pay attention. You just have to listen. And then while you are waiting for your turn, you can try to add another counter argument to what you've already written beforehand.
Yes, actually, I prepared my argument, but I know that like after previous speakers, right, I have to like make some rebuttals for
Correct.
the previous speaker of the opposite team. But
right.
Yeah, because I get the suggestion from the judge last time that say that the speaker three have to like close the arguments and fill in the gap for the previous speaker, so that I was a little bit confused about that.
Okay.
So I think it's clear now.
So actually, the role of the third speaker is not just to close. There are two roles that should be done by the third speaker. That is to give your counter argument to to your opponent and to close. So it's not just to close, but to give your counter argument first before you close.
Okay, I see. Thank you.
Okay. All right. You're welcome.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So any other questions, everyone?
Just for clarification.
Sorry.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay. So you first.
Thank you. Just a clarification.
Sure.
So like every speakers should introduce a new argument except for the reply speech. Isn't it? Yeah.
Oh,
it's
yes,
correct.
that's right. That's right. So actually, you are not trying, as a second and the third speaker, you are not trying to make a new argument, but you are trying to give counter argument. So there's a difference. You know the difference, right? He?
Yeah, I do.
Yes. So the first speaker, as the leader of the team, the first speaker has the responsibility to give your argument, to present your argument. And for the second and third, that will already be counter arguments, because before the second speaker starts to speak or starts to give counter arguments, the first speaker of the opposing team already gave the arguments of that team as well. So you just have to give your counter arguments and not new arguments. Okay?
Yep, I got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, thank you, He. And okay, Bao Chao, right?
So I want to ask that if a judge, like I'm a second speaker, so if a judge examine some things about the first speakers, like the chanity, and for example, he she give their argument that teenagers don't have any experience in job, and the judge say that can you explain why teenagers don't have enough experience compared to the other generations? Uh, I want to ask that can I explain for the judge to understand why why our generations have in experience in our working conditions.
Okay, I get your point. I mean, let me ask you. I want to make sure that I understand your question. Okay, so you mean the first speaker, let's say the first speaker of your team was not able to answer that question. I mean, maybe your speaker gave that point, but was not able to explain it. So the judge, after giving the results of the first round, the judge asked your first speaker. And as the second speaker from your team, you're asking me if you can answer the question of the judge. Is that what you mean?
Yes, it is what I mean.
Yes, of course. But you can answer it in a way that you will include that as your counter argument or as an explanation. Do you understand? For example, you can say, as what? Again, my topic for tonight is connecting, right? So connection between the speakers of the team. So as the second speaker of your team, of course, you can help. You can help your first speaker, because you will have another point in second round, right? You can say, as a support to what the first speaker in our team said, what our leader said, I agree that blah 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 blah. So you can start by saying, as a support to the argument of your leader. Okay?
Okay, I understand.
Uh-huh. Do you understand?
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you. So yeah, don't worry. You can actually do that. You can help. You can help. And at the end, it's a team game, you know? It's a team effort and not individual effort. So thank you for that, Zhao. And do you have any other questions, everyone?
I think everyone have a question about the speaker roles. So can you explain fully the speaker role of everyone? Thank you.
Okay. All right. So should I start with the first speaker?
Yes.
Okay, sure. Don't worry. I will be able to do that for you. I actually have here the format, since I was the judge. I'm sorry, I was the host. I was the host last time. So again, in the first round, the first speaker or the leader of each team gives a speech presenting their arguments, depending if you're in opposition or proposition. Of course, when you are in the proposition, you need to agree to the motion. That's your first argument. And second, if you are the first leader or the speaker of the opposition, you need to give your arguments or present your arguments opposing against the motion. And after that, the judge, right? The judge will be evaluating you. And as the second speakers of each team, I think it's best to actually listen to what the judge is trying to comment or to suggest to your team leader. Because just like what I forgot who asked that, just like what one of you here tonight just asked, if you can actually help supporting your leader, of course you can, if you listen to the comment or to the evaluation of the judge. If the judge said that, oh, you were not able to how can I say this, you were not able to provide evidence, you were not able to defend your statement, you were not able to defend your point, to support your point, then as the second speaker of your team, your role is to actually present counter arguments to the argument of the first speaker of your opposing team or of your opponent. And also you need to present further points. And if you want to help your leader, if your leader missed something, you can say, as a support to what my leader said, I want to blah, 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 blah. You just share, okay? You share. And in that way, actually, the judge will see that, oh, it's teamwork. This is teamwork. And debate is all about teamwork as well, rather than just giving arguments. So I hope that you will remember that. And as for the third speaker, someone also asked here, right, about the third speaker. So for the third speaker, of course, again, you can give your counter arguments to the arguments of the opposing team, but also you have the responsibility to present your closing statements. If you want to ask me if you can again help, if you think that your second speaker missed something, go on. As long as you have time, you can also support your second speaker. If you can also support your first speaker. That's not a problem. In the end, it's just like you're trying to defend your team's point, not just your point. And that is also very good. Okay? And for the third round, that is now the closing, summarizing, replies, conclusion. So it is already the task or the responsibility of the first speaker or the leader of the team to sum up everything, put everything in one box and present it to the judge. So at that time, you are not trying to rebut anymore. You are not trying to give counter arguments anymore. You are not going to make new arguments anymore, but you are just going to, how can I say this? You're just going to put everything together. Okay, and present it to the judge. It means like try to persuade the judge to believe your team's point and not only your point. Okay.
Okay, I think we got it. Thank
All
you
right,
very much.
you're welcome. So yeah, I think if you have any question like after this meeting, you can try to message like the admins, or if you have any contacts with them, and they can ask us, like the judges as well, and we will be able to help. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So any other questions? I saw he left already. It's okay. All right. So if none, let me just end our meeting, my speech for my task for tonight by sharing a quote from David Gemmell, and it says, the purpose of debate is to explore issues and not end them. That's why there are two opposing teams. So everyone, I hope to see you in our second debate. I will still be hosting it, so don't you worry. And you have my support, all of you. I'm rooting for all of you. And I hope that you learned something from me tonight, and try to, use all of them as much as possible. And if you can, because I think that what I've said tonight are just things that I want you to follow for your own good. So I hope that, yeah, you got something and you have some takeaways from me. So thank you so much, everyone, and have a good night. I will see you. Bye-bye.
Thank you and good night.
Good
See
night.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.